Living in New York is like being in a group project with 8 million people. No one agrees, everyone's yelling, but somehow it gets done. I bike through it, just trying not to get hit, or worse, end up in Times Square. My name's Carlo. I'm a Baruch student, a commuter, and a people watcher on 2 wheels. Every day, I ride through the city, past storefronts, through shortcuts, some near misses, and definitely some stories that you only notice when you're not stuck underground. So I started filming it all, not to glorify it, but to get closer to it. This isn't a tour, this definitely isn't a documentary, it's just a ride. This is Between the Gears. This is where it starts, Washington Heights. Me, my bike, and just enough energy in me to think this was a good idea. I roll out of bed early, just before the traffic starts, and the sidewalks begin to crowd. It's quiet-ish, still has that maybe today will be chill energy. Then I cross the bridge, and chill goes straight out the window.
My name is Jonathon. I've been in New York for practically all my life. I reside in the Bronx.
What's your daily commute like?
My daily commute, well, I work at Starbucks. So in the morning, I usually take a cab. And right now, you actually caught me walking from my job. So I hit about 1.5 miles every day. But yeah, I usually walk, and then from there, I take the bus.
You like it? You hate it? How you feel?
It's like a love-hate relationship, but when you get in the rhythm, you kind of know when to avoid rush hour at a certain time, or just like right now. Pretty sure I'm gonna see a bunch of kids in the bus right now, but it is what it is. You embrace it over time, you get used to it.
You like the bus?
I prefer the bus over the train as of lately. I guess it's because it's easier to disconnect. I usually just be on my phone or I'll read books, whatever, yeah.
If you could change one thing about commuting in New York, what would it be?
It'd be the traffic. Wish we had like hovercrafts or like a space, you know what I mean? Like the Jetsons, anything remotely close to just defying gravity, because the way things are here is crazy, bro. Yeah. Traffic exists because people are
like
just
slow.
like, exactly. So if you're in a rush, everybody's on the same page, boom, we get home faster. Everybody's going to where they gotta go.
So what makes New York City feel like home to you? Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave that with the second question.
Yeah.
What's one sound, smell, or sight that reminds you of New York City or makes it home?
You got the sirens. You have you got people yelling random things. If you have your window, just in general, it's just a lot of randomness, but it's cool at the same time. Correct.
How do you feel the city's changed since you've been?
The city has changed after COVID. It was very lively before COVID. Now it's getting to that point. I guess a lot of it has to do with finding a third place, and I feel like we didn't have that after COVID. So now that businesses are booming again, they're starting to build urban spaces for the younger crowd that like to chill, like to vibe, don't want to go party too hard. So they got these places.
I guess free isn't the right word, but like those kind of like open areas where you can just
spaces,
you can hang out. Yeah,
I think it's cool because then it gives a lot of recreational ideas for other opportunities, other businesses. If they want to make a coffee shop right there, you got like a hipster vibe where people could just sit there. But then you also have like a chicken spot right here, at the same time where
there's a smoke shop right down there,
right down the block, right? So those things are becoming pretty common, and it's just helping, I feel like, the community.
For our next stop, we go 1 block over. A new vibe, some new faces, but I can still hear the same guy blasting bachata from a shopping cart speaker. Classic.
Well, how you doing? My name is Mike C. From Newark, New Jersey. How y'all doing? God bless y'all.
How long you been in New York?
Well, I've been living in New York now for since the pandemic. So, I've been in New York out of my life back and forth since I was a little kid. So I'm pretty familiar with New York.
How do you feel about your daily commute?
It's pretty cool, but you gotta be safe out. You gotta watch out for the weirdos.
He actually hates his commute.
Yeah, really?
Actually, I do. I ain't gonna lie. I hate the train, so that's my brother. That's my brother.
If you could change one thing about commuting, what would you change?
More safety out here, more protection.
More safety?
Yeah, because the police don't do their job out here. Out of every 100 stations, there'd be 5 stations.
How do you feel about the National Guard at, what's it called, at Port Authority?
They pretty good.
At 42nd?
Yeah, Port Authority, Staten Island Ferry, the water, they good.
I think one thing I'd change about commuting would probably be the times, I guess, on the weekends.
How often?
Yeah, I guess the weekends.
If you had to describe New York City in one word, what would it be?
outrageous.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Everybody going wild.
One sight, smell, or sound that reminds you of New York City.
Sound, I think I was like ice cream truck.
All right.
Like maybe like the ball, like handball. Like sight would probably be like Chinatown type thing. Like all the people just in the area, different type of people. A taste will probably be pizza.
Okay.
Pizza or
Oh,
Spanish
that shit
food.
nice.
What advice would you give to someone that just came to New York? Someone brand new to New York, never seen a city before.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, the way New York City changed right now, when you come out here visiting and all that, y'all stay safe. On the subways.
Take advantage of the free things that are here in New York. There's so many free events to do. You could like, if you're the type that likes to go out, then you could download an app called Eventbrite.
Oh yeah.
Or just go on your social media, look up current free events.
What I mean?
And they get free samples and stuff in New York all the time. It's a safe haven state, kind of like California.
Yeah.
So, you can take advantage of the free stuff here.
Even though I like my bike, sometimes I take the train. Underground, it's all patience and elbows, a weird kind of shared silence, interrupted only by amateur musicians, some dance groups, and definitely snack sales. This part of my ride is rare, and depends on how well I slept last night. Kind of peaceful. A stretch where you can actually breathe without inhaling exhaust. The river's to your side, no taxis trying to kill you, and for a second, you start to believe New York might be romantic. And then bam, 34th Street. Back to chaos, back to real life. And that brings us to Penn Station. Penn Station is what happens when you put thousands of stressed people underground and hope for the best. It's a miracle of movement. No one knows where they're going, although at least half are on the LIRR, but somehow they all end up in the right place. Eventually.
My name is Lamar. I am an artist, filmmaker, and educator. I am born and raised here in New York. I'm from Flatbush, Brooklyn. Been here all my life. Traveled a lot, but haven't lived outside of the city yet.
What's your daily commute like?
I prefer to walk, to be honest. I really, really love walking because New York is full of life and full of inspiration, and I think on the walks, you can see some really beautiful things. I also bike a lot too, so I walk, bike, those are my two preferred.
You like commuting?
I love commuting because I think walking, there's some kind of synergy and like something really spiritual and like moving and flow and movement and other folks and like the shared relationship of like movement and direction.
Yeah. Since you are from Flatbush, what's something about New York City that makes it feel like home to you?
The people.
Yeah.
I think the people in certain neighborhoods, the people, food. The food is really, really amazing. And the urgency too. The urgency definitely, when people are kind of trying to cut through like traffic and like walk through crowds, it makes me feel very much at home.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly on the go.
If you had to describe New York City in one word, what would it be and why?
I'd say eclectic. I'd say more than one word. I'd say eclectic, gritty, turbulent, exciting, hard. Like there's a lot of hardship here too.
Yeah.
Unhoused, and also unfair. New York is not a fair city.
Yeah.
Like we romanticize it a lot, but a lot of people come here and like to chase their dreams and kind of get crushed.
Yeah.
Capitalism and having to survive.
So what's something about life in New York City that outsiders don't understand, or like they just can't get?
They don't really understand how like fast your life can change. Like New York is a place where you can kind of just be going to a show, bar, or something, and you can meet someone that can potentially change your life. And I think it seems much more frightening, and it seems much larger. But I'd say it's a bit smaller. A lot of like the communities, well, that was cool. A lot of the communities in the niche, like it's actually much smaller than it looks. Like all of the producers and media, it's a lot of the same people.
Yeah. So how's the city changed since you've kind of started living here, just since you've grown up? I mean,
the city has changed drastically. One, I'd say it's safer. So the city is so much safer.
Really? Because the last person that answered said the opposite.
That it's not safer.
That they felt like it's gotten crazy.
So two things, right? 'Cause I think there's a nuance to the safeness. I think the city is generally much safer, but I think we have a big problem with unhoused folks and folks with mental health issues. So it is a bit more dangerous and like shocking. I think there's a lot of these nuances of like safety versus danger. I think it's safer as in like generally because when my parents and family migrated here and would take the trains, you get robbed on the subways quite often. Like people are sticking up the subways and stripping people. Certain neighborhoods you couldn't go to, and like now you can go to Bed-Stuy, you can go to Rockaway on the C train. That shit was not a go when I was younger. Like certain neighborhoods you go, but like you'd always be nervous. And like honestly, in some of those neighborhoods you get robbed, shot, stabbed, killed. A lot of crazy things can happen. So I think the city is much safer. Yes, it has its dangerous aspects because of our housing and mental health issues. It was like the city needs to fund and help the people better. But yeah, I think it's safer.
Just a few blocks south, and it's like the whole city hits snooze. Suddenly there's space, there's grass, and people pretending pigeons aren't terrifying. Welcome to Madison Square Park, New York's version of taking a breather and a lunch break haven for the local 9-to-5ers.
My name's Eden.
Okay.
I'm from Arkansas, and I've been here the past 4 years because I go to school nearby.
What's your daily commute like? You like it? You hate it?
It's not too bad. I just get on RW and take about 3 stops to Soho, so it's not too bad. I know it can be worse, but...
So, you like it, I guess?
Yeah, it's fine. It could be worse.
How do you pass the time when you're commuting?
I like to play games on my phone. I play a lot of games on my phone.
If you could change one thing about commuting in New York City, what would it be?
Maybe have like a separate train for tourists, or like find some way for commuters so that you didn't have to be with like all the tourists.
So like too many people is your issue?
When it's not,
When it's not
too many
like
people that like don't know where they're going, what they're doing. But that's a problem kind of anywhere.
What's one sound, smell, or sight that instantly reminds you or that instantly makes you think of New York City?
Pee.
I feel like that's not the first time I've heard that.
The smell of pee, probably.
Okay. What about like a sight or a sound? A sight or a sound?
A sound. Everyone probably thinks this, but like alarms or like honking. My like bedroom window doesn't face the street, but I still hear all the honking and the sounds and everything. People talk like busyness, I guess.
So I guess if you had to describe it one word, would you say busy?
Busy.
If you could spend a whole day, I'm gonna say biking, but if you could spend a whole day around New York City, what are 2 to 3 spots you would go to? And they could be places you have been before or haven't been.
I wouldn't personally get on a bike because I've been on a city bike and I'm terrified. I would go to Battery Park.
Okay.
And I would sit by the water.
What's some advice you'd give to someone who's new to New York?
What?
What's some advice you'd give to someone who's new to New York?
I would say you need a job. Everything's really expensive. And you should at least once go see all the touristy stuff. And I'd say sometimes it's hard to like make friends and stuff because everyone's in their own world. So you kind of just have to like join stuff. I'd say that's my biggest advice, like to join things, join communities, join clubs, join whatever. That's the way that you're going to meet new people, because it's not by walking down the street. Because if someone approaches you on the street, that's not someone you want to be friends with. So that'd be my advice.
Here we go. Last stop. It's the Bearcats' home, Baruch College. We have students dodging deadlines, professors looking mildly over it, and at least one elevator that isn't working. It's not the end of the ride, but it's where it all comes together. School, city, story, all in one block.
My name is Julian. I live on the Upper West Side.
What's your major?
My major is CIS.
CIS, dope.
Hi, I'm Victor. I also live on the Upper West Side, and I'm a senior here at Baruch College, majoring in mathematics.
What's your commute like in New York City? You love it? You hate it?
Honestly, it's alright. It takes me around like 35-40 minutes to get here.
Okay.
And honestly, I spend almost half my time just walking to the train.
for you?
Yeah, for me, well, basically it got better since I moved this year. I used to be on 114 in Riverside.
Yeah.
So to come all the way here was a little bit difficult because I had to take the one, then the 2 or 3, then the RW to get here. Now that I'm on 71st and West End, it's much easier. I'm literally right next to the 2 and 3 stop at 72nd. I just take that down to 42nd, take the RW, and it's a piece of cake.
What's one word you would use to describe New York City?
I guess you could say fast.
Fast? Okay, yeah. Any reason why?
No, yeah, it's very fast paced. Everything's going on. People are busy. People are in their own world.
Do you feel like that in Baruch as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, commuter college, not surprised. Yeah.
For me, like, the word that comes up is paradoxical, because I think there's a lot of things that do make sense and others that don't.
Okay.
You know, for me. So one of the things is like, well, New York is one of the most like wealth and wealth concentrated places. Yet our public services and things like that are very much underfunded. But yeah, other than that, I think I agree with what Julian had to say. It's very fast-paced. Here it's like if you don't get it done in 30 seconds, your life is average, you know? It's like, but you get used to it. It's like anything. I think you get used to it, and I think it's good for, I mean, I'm going to use this term lightly, but character development.
Okay, okay. It's character building.
Yeah. You become more resilient, you become stronger, I think you become also faster at solving problems as well. So
I mean, that's why they say, like, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Yeah, exactly.
I truly and firmly believe that.
Yeah. If you could spend the day going anywhere in New York City, whether you've been there or haven't been there, what are like 2 to 3 spots you would be, where you would go to?
I guess my number one would probably be Astoria.
Okay.
Right? I just like the area. I feel like there's a lot to do. The food's great.
Food, yeah.
And I guess my second spot would probably be maybe Park Slope. That's where I grew up.
It's the same thing for me. Like, I love Brooklyn. I just started visiting and getting to know Brooklyn a little bit better. And for me, it's definitely Bushwick. It's beautiful. Brighton Beach is also really nice. They have a very nice community there. There is one place in Manhattan that I do like, which is the West Village.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you could change one thing about commuting in New York City, what would it be?
I guess there just has to be a lot of improvements there with the train.
Okay.
The system's just getting really old, right? Like you see in the past, right? It was like, like I see these old news headers and stuff like that. How it's like one of the most amazing things. And now it's like we're still using trains from the 70s, and some of the cars have like broken air conditioner.
Well, thank you guys. That was it for my interview. Nice meeting you. Victor, right? Yeah. Julian? Carlo.
Yep. Julian, yeah.
Thank you guys.
And that's it for now. The city keeps moving, and so do I. Thanks for riding with me, and I'll see you somewhere between the gears.